I have not filmed a video for this YouTube channel in months. It's a really, really fucking long time. And, it's because I haven't been motivated to. And, I blame that mostly on winter and seasonal depression. But, it is July. So anyway, I had been doing these videos about this one specific type of Turbodork paint that is called a Zenishift paint. So the way that this works is these paints, the color you get is different depending on the base coat. This one is called Prism Power. That's what it says there. So long as you can read English, you figure that out. The top color is always the color you get over white. And then the bottom is the color you would get over black. That said, more often than not, it takes more coats to get this color that you would get over white than it does to get, this. So you got to be careful how thick the coats are that you're applying. And when they released this paint, I thought it was going to be like my new favorite paint of theirs. And I wound up being really wrong. I love pink and I love blue. I don't like pastel colors. And this is a very pastel paint. I don't have great lighting here because it's not like a professional setup because, my YouTube channel is like a joke. But it's a very light paint. That's not my style, It doesn't mean I think it's a bad paint. It's like, what's a good equivalent of that? It's like me saying that, like, Billy Joel's not my style of music, but also he fucking sucks and he's shit. And that's, I don't respect the artistry. Billy Joel's trash. But, like, I wouldn't insult, like, Stephen Sondheim the same way. I don't like musicals. But, I can't listen to that shit because Stephen Sondheim songs sound like fucking... The melody's like running up a hill and then running back down a hill. It's like blah, 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 blah. And I just want some shit to have like a steady beat. But, I respect the artistry. And, is that a good, analogy for this paint? No, it's not. But one of the good things about Turbodork's website is if you go to the bottom, it has a list of colors that are... There's a word I'm looking for, and it says it. There's comparable colors in the same range. There's a word I'm looking for, and I can think of, I just want to say sister colors, and it's fucking not what it's called. I don't know what the fuck kind of dumb thought process that was. So in this case, however, you have two different paints. So like two different colors, one paint. And so matching it can be a little bit kind of weird. Generally, when I have a Turbodork paint, especially for color shifts, I like to find the metallics and just hold them kind of next to this and kind of get an idea of if it's going to fall in the same range. But I also look at their website because, they make this shit, so they know better than me. So the colors that they recommended, these are very pastel. So this color, Turbo. I do like Turbo, as a matter of fact. This is what Turbo looks like. It is like a bubblegum pink. This is like Emperor's Children. Really, this is like almost a metallic of, that's, what? That's pink heart. I don't think I have Emperor's Children, and that's weird. I always have that somewhere. So, like, whatever. I'm not even going to edit that shit out because it's kind of funny. This is full-grown pink. I don't have any of that. That's weird. Whatever. Bloopers. So, anyway, it's like a bubblegum pink. I like bubblegum pink. I just don't want, like, a whole thing painted in that color. I'm sure if I played Warhammer, I'd be super into it because the lore of Emperor's Children is pretty fucking badass from what I understand. So the way to kind of figure out if these are going to match well is really you just kind of hold this up, right? And you look at the range, and it's hard because of this light. But this pink is going to fit in right there, kind of like in the middle of these pinks. It's fucking light. Is this better? No, not a little bit. So that's kind of what you're looking at there. Maybe this is going to be better. God. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Yo, I should not be allowed to have a YouTube channel. Another color they recommend, also, like, that actually they don't. So this is Blue Steel. This is a paint I've never actually used. It's like a very silvery blue. Funny enough, I was speaking to my friend yesterday, and we were talking about Turbodork paint, and I was talking about giving him some that I had that I wasn't going to use, and I said I was going to give this to him, and he was really interested in, and like, yo, Brett, I'm so sorry. I think I have to use it for this video. I guess I'll give you like a half-open fucking bottle. I don't know. It's a shitty thing to do. So Blue Steel is very, very, very light. It's so pastel that it's almost silver, but it's right there. Like, again, it's in the middle here of those two colors. And then they recommend also this paint Bada B. which is a funny name for paint. Funny paint names sometimes. And that you can tell is like right there at the bottom, right? Just like very clearly the darker side of the blue. And then I think I made an error. So like the turbo should be right at the top, right? That's like the pinkest of it's like the more saturated pink. The middle is like the more pastel of the, where these colors meet at their most pastel. Like that sounds like a really meaningful statement, but I just said, those are words. I just say shit. I don't know what the fuck that means. So this is their paint Sakura. I don't know how to say it apparently. And that is kind of like the more pastel in there. On top of that, I was looking around. I found that Pearl Gray, which is a very light purple. Obviously, purple is the color in between pink and blue, so it works perfectly. Now, here's my problem with this shit, is that these are not the colors that are for me. Like, I want my pink to look like this, right? This is Hotline. This is their sort of equivalent of like a hot pink. This color's fucking amazing. This color's incredible. And then I like my blue to look like this. And this is Cool Ranch, and it's like bold as, I mean, it's named after the fucking Dorito, bag. It's great. And I want my purples to look like this. And they don't have a color shift. They don't have a Zenishift paint that covers this range, which, sucks for me personally. But again, that's just my taste. So one of the things that I do, and I know other people who kind of like live within the Turbodork cult, is rather than just using white, because you're going to get this very, very light pink that I don't like, use pink. So I'm going to paint a bunch of things. That's why all this shit here. This is still wet because I just was fucking around with it. This, as you can see, is a fucking super saturated, super vibrant pink. And so that is a way to get the pink that I would want out of this paint. The problem is you can't make the blue darker because it's already going over black. And there's nothing blacker than black, obviously. So I have a bunch of different things here, and I'm just going to run through what the fuck we're looking at. So real quick, when I use a Zenishift paint for the first time, I have a few different things that I like to do that kind of gives me an idea of kind of like what you can accomplish with it. So one thing I do, and I just use Mythic Legion's Cosmic Legion stuff by Four Horsemen Studios. And, if you're watching this because you came here from any other world other than customizing those, that would be kind of crazy to me and pretty cool. Welcome. So this is poorly painted. I'm just going to say that this was sloppy. I didn't try very hard because I have 1,000 of these back pieces from the Tusk body, and I don't use them all. So it's just like a throwaway piece to see what happened. So I used here different pinks. So the darkest of the pinks is, what the fuck is it? Yo, bro, that's right here. I'm dumb. The darkest of the pinks is this magenta. It's golden so flat, quadricone. I'm not stupid. I can fucking read, and I won't go into like how I was taught phonetics wrong in elementary school, but like I've never seen this word before, and if I haven't heard it said out loud, I'm just not going to say it right. So like whatever, this is what it says. I feel so stupid. I got a fucking 4 on my AP English test. I'm actually very intelligent. So that was the fucking weirdest flex. I'm so sorry. So anyway, that's the darkest. So it's like you're going to get a very different result when you use a very light pink over that. For the lightest pink here, I actually used a Gundam marker. This is advertised as hot pink. I mean, this shit's pastel as fuck, but it does kind of glow. It's just going to show the difference. And then, what you can barely see. And so I didn't do a great job. And, I'll cop to the fact that I didn't do a great job, is I used 2 different pinks. And that is because I wasn't going to use both. It was an accident because I'm kind of an idiot. I used Impish Rogue accidentally thinking it was Wicked Pink. So Warpaint, their Wicked Pink it's my favorite pink. It's the best pink. It's shit. You cannot tell me there's a better pink that's like an acrylic for painting like, games and, plastic or customizing, whatever. This shit is gorgeous. Look at that. This shit's gorgeous. Beautiful. Impish Rogue, they kind of have these like a scale here. Right? So this is Impish Rogue is like a step lighter on their scale. And this video is not about these pinks, so whatever. And I So like you can see here, barely, this is like a little bit lighter, so that's the difference. I mean, I don't think there's going to be a difference that we're going to see. It's going to overpower the base coat unless it's very, very, very bold. So, I just kind of fucked around with some stuff I had laying around. So I have these two swords, and I don't know if they're going to look different on camera because this pink. So these are two different pinks that are also amazing. So this one here is, these are both from Culture Hustle. This is Pinky. This is the Barbie's pink is how they advertise it. The Barbie pink has a copyright on it. So they make their version of it. This shit is so fucking it's like more of like a fluorescent magenta. It is very beautiful. It's difficult to paint on plastic because it's got that, you really got to do like, do it with the airbrush. It's got that like gooey fluorescent consistency. The other thing I use is their Pinkest Pink, and that is just more of a hot pink. Again, neither of these you can see on camera. Screen displays are not good enough to display certain things, and that's just a fact, which is unfortunate. It makes it very difficult to do videos about paint colors. I left one thing white. I probably got to do another layer of it just to see what this shit's going to look like. So you're going to have like I'm kind of dumb because you have a pink handle and a fucking blue sword. I mean, that makes no sense, but whatever. Maybe I'll change it. All these swords are from my friend Steph. This is Detour Customs. I don't know if these are on his website. It's like Detour. I don't actually know. I think it's detourcustoms.com. So I'll just flash it up on screen when I'm busy editing this for 70 fucking hours. This is a hilt from him. So I just did this because this is the kind of thing where, you can really see the contrast in an interesting way just because you're going to have the blue and you'll have the pink and just, it's like a highlight. Sometimes it comes out amazing. Sometimes they wind up looking kind of like the same color. That's what I like to do for weapons to kind of get an idea about how the paint works. The other thing I like to do is sculpted heads. I'm trying to talk fast because it's going to be too long. I'm sorry. Skulls. Skulls are interesting because there's a lot of detail always. So you have like all that dark, with the teeth, and it's just an awful lot of recesses, and then the sockets will be black. So the sockets are black. So that's going to be the blue, and this will be pink. They do tend to come out really cool. That one, I used a different paint. Whoa, I just dropped one paint, and it might have been the one I needed. It was. Also wore paints. This is Spellbound Fuchsia. Fuchsia is a word that I have trouble taking seriously. So armor and skulls, as you can see, like this, I don't know if you can see, but I painted this a billion times. Like I fucked it up and I try to fix it rather than strip the paint off, and it's just a lot of that detail is gone. Also, that's yellow on my finger. Fuck you. For me, like painting anything that's like a reptile, like a reptilian skin, there's like these layers in here. It can come out very cool. And depending on the paint, it could come out actually looking fairly natural, or it could just look like kind of cool and like a futuristic, alien or something. So then I also have a snake head here. So it's just going to get like, again, this is the recesses, right? And the final thing is wings. So these wings are from the Cosmic Legion Sphexian. They all have the same wings, so any of the Sphexians. And so again, I find that it's good to figure out more about the paint by looking at it when you have like a real separation. So you can see them next to each other, right? Just like the swords, just like this. And also when they're just dry brushing, which is, I guess, a better way of saying the reason I like to, as far as using the skulls and the reptilian skin, I mean, that's really just when you dry brush the lighter color over a darker color, which is how dry brushing works generally. If you are going to do it traditionally, that's a sentence that like really I tried so hard to salvage, but it's no way I can make it not sound stupid. So this, the other side of the wings, and I've done this a bunch of times with I do this with Fey Wilds, which is pink and green. It looks amazing. So that's it. Like every other video I've done, I've kind of like had much more to paint, and I decided to pare it down, but still I've been talking for fucking 20 minutes. So like, I don't know how I can't make a short video. I'm going to go paint this now with my airbrush. So, it turns out that the light on my ring light doesn't work in the outlet that is by my airbrush station, and I bet that video was not remotely helpful. And so, my sincerest apologies. That I bet didn't sound sincere at all. It really wasn't. So, results of this Prism Power. Swords first. These two swords were painted with pinks that were insanely vivid and bright, and they did get pretty toned down. This is about what the pink was on one of them. I mean, they were both about this bright, so these are fucking both painted terribly. It's embarrassing to put them up on screen. One of them's gone forever. So, I mean, they both look the same too. Here is that scabbard. Not really. I think this came out cool. And that's the reason I like to use the Zenishift paints just in general, because you can do this in one shot. Just dry brush it and then paint it, airbrush. And it's it's a nice blue. I like the blue. It's not my favorite blue, but I do like it, and it looks nice here with the pink. This is over white. Now, I didn't use a good white for it to adhere to. And this is so fucking pastel. Like, I don't even know how to show it. Like, I have to get the light off of it to show it. Like, so you see, like, in there, the lighting, it gets blue, right? You see that? It's like, is it blue shift? Is it pink to blue shift in it? That is interesting. And you can see it kind of on this as well, right? And it's not purple. I guess it's a little bit like lavender, which is cool. I like that the Zenishift paints do have like a shift. Now onto the really good shit. This is my favorite. This is actually not, I'm sorry. Oh, wow. I really led you on to believe something cool was happening, and it wasn't yet. This is some more white. I painted this over Themes Workshop Wraithbone, and you actually can't see it in this fucking video. There, that's it. Super, I don't know, it's like mauve. I don't actually know if that's what mauve looks like. It's such an ugly word. This is what it looks like, just kind of sectioned out for armor. I think this looks cool, but it's just a little bit, it's not enough. I can't explain it. I'm just going to keep saying the same shit. But you can see there's kind of a shift to pink. It's just right there. See that? I'm sure it looks much cooler in, better lighting. So you can see the blue. I like the way that this matches up here. It does look pretty cool. I don't think it looks that great over darker pinks. And I don't really think it looks that great over lighter pinks, like the fuchsia or the, that's the same fucking pink anyway. I skipped this sword. I do think that this looks cool. Just color combination and shape. It does look really cool. I think that pink came out really good, and that's the fuchsia. Now the cool shit. We'll start with the skull, which is the least cool of the cool shit, but it's still cool. Again, this looks, I like this. I like the way it looks, but I don't really love it. The pink is it's just too light. I'm going to say the same shit over and over again. The Zenishift paints are great because it's really only, 2 coats with the airbrush. You use some of their darker paints like fucking, Grave Robber or Rainbow Roll, and it's 37,000 passes with the airbrush. But this looks good with the teeth. It's interesting. I like this as a look for shit. Most people don't. They want things that are look like they would occur in the natural world or science fiction, and which is fine and great. And my imagination just goes kind of haywire, so that doesn't happen to me. This is the reptilian. This is a leg from the Ninian trooper. So, which is, again, that's a Mythic Legions figure. And it would look a lot cooler if there was still definition left. But I like it. I think it makes for this could be a cool alien bug. Because if you look now, I was actually surprised at, I love the way that this came out. This is fucking awesome. And, it's one of those things where you use these Zenishift paints and color shift paints in general, and it really just depends on it depends on your personal taste, but it depends on what you're using it on, right? So I don't like this on armor, but fuck, this looks great on something organic, because bugs are weirdly kind of metallic, and that fell, in case you couldn't figure that out for yourself. But here's another one, and I really like it. And finally, here is the snakehead, and again, you can see, I just really like the way that this works in the recesses. If this was a bug head, you know, it would look really dope. So that is the whole video. You know, what I'm going to do immediately is I'm going to check out another paint, because I want to see if I want to use that or this on, if this is like really out of focus and hard to watch a bit, which I'm going to use on a custom I have lined up. And then, you know, if they both look awesome, that's great. I'll just do two. But I have to this video is so long, I have to edit it down. I don't understand how